Ever fantasize about making $1 billion overnight? Well, guess what? That feat has also been attempted and succeeded by one of the billionaires of the modern market. But wait, the journey wasn't that easy. There was a time when traders were not considered to be as strong as we think they are these days. Sometimes, these traders used to be on the street fighting even for the last of the pennies they made. This is when a few remarkable people like George Soros stepped in and made sure that they proved that being and earning a living as a trader is something achievable, given that you know a few strategies and have the relevant experience. This billionaire we are speaking of in this video cracked the system so well that he brought one of the biggest banks of that time to bankruptcy. Now, it's normal for billionaires to directly or indirectly be part of politics, and he was no different about it. He has been a part of multiple theories that shed light on his control over political decisions, and many of these were quite convincing. The unique thing about him was that he was not only able to influence his own nation, that is Hungary, but also in other countries worldwide. It was normal to hear his name for many illicit purposes for which his findings were being used. Though we do not state that he is responsible for this, we are certain that all these theories arose of the success that he has achieved in a relatively short period of time. Now, though we said that he achieved it in a short span of time, be informed that the groundwork for all his success started 3 or 4 decades ago from how we know him today. So let's get to the heart of this conversation. George Soros set the record for making over $1 billion in a day back in 1992. He achieved this feat by short-selling the currencies. Indeed, this requires a lot of knowledge and decision-making. However, a few parts of this story will certainly shock you. So this feat he achieved by repeatedly selling currencies. George was born in 1930 in Hungary, which was back then under Hitler's control. It was certain that the socio-political situation back in Hungary at that time was not something we would appreciate in the modern world, or even back then during the 1930s. The innocence he had back then as a child quickly turned into a realization that the world runs around money, and it is important for him to get out of the vicious cycle in which his country was, where even children, once they are old enough, are forced to join the army. He started looking for success in anything and everything he saw around him. So this curious child realized that education is the first step into all of that. He was able to get into the London School of Economics, so the first purely organic strategy that we think he depicted throughout his life was to attain the correct education. After years of working with various firms and businessmen, he started up his own hedge fund in 1970. He called it the Quantum Fund, while many even like calling it the Soros Fund. His determination to make enough money became a reality when he made over $1 billion in a day in 1992. Another important strategy that he relied on was working with a one-time loss system. Now, for those who don't know what this is, stay with us. Unlike a lot of investors out there who ask you to diversify your portfolio or make your investments in a ton of different places, or to spread out the money you invest, he invests at regular intervals solely into a single type of investment. This means that he may even go in terms of billions while investing in a single type of investment. This, of course, is not recommended for many young investors who have just started out. We think he made a huge leverage out of his experience and knowledge in this field. While choosing, we are certain that he chose based on the present market situations and the projectiles that each one of them has been showing over the past few months or years. Now, this means that he was not afraid of taking risk, and well, like it or not, the way it works in the market is the higher the risk, the more the returns. For the strategy to work, one of the major requirements is to know the market inside out. This means that he is making use of the bigger picture, or as they call it in economics, scaling up to the macro level when he makes any investments. So keeping a close eye on the macro level economic trends and basing your decisions based on the updates happening in and around the market is one of the strategies that Soros made extreme use of. Always keep in mind that the giant macroeconomic trends have never been sustainable in the market. Therefore, playing with risk in this field comes with a lot of chances for an extreme fall of an individual. Yet another factor that adds up to our conclusion that he was not afraid of taking risk was the fact that Soros used to leverage the money in a very strategic manner. He made sure that he had higher leverage in any investment that he made. Though this also means that he will have to bear higher losses, by now, you would have understood that he was not afraid to go all in and get his feet dirty. If you look into the big bets that he has made, you will realize that most of these big bets are toward commodities, bonds, and currencies. He is a seldom visitor to stocks. However, that is not something he relies on a lot. Back in time, he took out over £1 billion from the Bank of Britain. He bet against the pound as he foresaw a fall in the currency. Not after a long time that he bet, the currency fell by over 25% against the United States dollar. The economic trend he was looking at strongly indicated that the pound would fall, and for his luck, or rather his intelligence, the prediction he relied upon turned out to be true. Along with this, he also stated that the other currencies apart from the pound would stay the same or may go up. The fall was significant and had a great impact on the social and political situation with Great Britain. The total amount that he bet back then was around $10 billion, which included the money he had borrowed from various sources. He made a total of 25% in returns all in one day. After he paid all the debts he had on him, he could make over $1 billion just for himself. This event made him the achiever of one of the biggest earnings to be accrued in a single day in the world, and hence crashing the Bank of England in a matter that was never tried, tested, or even imagined by the world or the leaders throughout the governments. As this happened and Soros gained more popularity, governments worldwide started being scared of him. They were aware that Soros, having already displayed his capabilities with investing in currencies, may be followed by a lot of other people, which may lead to further issues in their own regions. As the countries started getting worried, they all placed some countermeasures in line to make sure investors like him did not end up creating the same situation for their countries as well. So, these were a few of the strategies he used to climb up the ladder from the wrath of the Nazis all the way to the top investors of the world. His journey is a true inspiration to a lot of people, while on the other hand, some claim that he used the weaknesses displayed by the currencies to his advantage. Well, if you look at it from that point of view, and if you think of all investors in this world, irrespective of what they are investing in, they are all investing against a particular asset because they know that the said asset might fall in the future. So from that point of view, there isn't a lot that he did wrong. The reason why the country started being afraid of him is because of the fact that he had a lot of knowledge in the said area, which he could use to expose the vulnerability of the currencies of a few countries, which was being advertised as one of the strongest in front of their citizens or to the rest of the world. So basically, what he was trying to do can also be treated as a way to expose the kind of instability being promoted within these currencies and the internal profits being made by the governments out of such instabilities. With that, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and also let us know your opinions in the comments section. Who is your favorite investor? And how much of a risk are you ready to take when it comes to your goals?